Spring is here, and that means two things: Major League Baseball and March Madness. Sports Talk Live is next. Camera, we coming on? Oh, welcome to Sports Talk. Welcome to Sports Talk Live. I'm Chance Dickman, along with
Deleeuw
and Schrupp.
And we're going to get started off here right away with some college basketball. Of course, it's March, so March Madness is coming up. That's a topic of discussion for everybody. And we'll start off, though, with the Badgers and the Buckeye matchup that happened this past weekend, unfortunately. Most of you probably know the Badgers didn't have such a good game, unfortunately. What did you think about that matchup?
You know, it came down to this. Did Ohio State play great, or did the Badgers play really bad? Badgers played average. You know, they scored 65 points. They played defense. Nankivell, Taylor, they struggled. Nankivell couldn't hit a shot, and Taylor just couldn't get to the rim. Kraft played incredible defense on him. But you're not going to win a game playing a team that shoots 70% from the field, and let alone 60% from the field.
They were unreal.
Or not 60%.
It was 93.
Yeah, 93%.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm sorry.
93%.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's unheard of.
It was a great, I don't know, let me start off by saying I'm a huge Badger fan, especially growing up in Madison, but I didn't necessarily expect them to win. Having said that, it's very hard to win on the road in the Big Ten, especially.
Oh, yep.
Especially going to Ohio State when they're recently #1. It's hard to go anywhere. Purdue, Michigan State, Illinois, we have troubles. But I didn't expect them to win, but I didn't expect them to get blown out like they did, so that was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, that is the truth. Badgers' hopes for the tournament, coming into the Big Ten tournament and then the NCAA tournament, which starts in 2 weeks over our spring break. We're the third seed in our tournament, so we get a first-round bye on Thursday, so we have to play on Friday. What are you guys looking for with the Badgers?
I think it would be really important for them to, when they line up against Purdue in the semis, to take out Purdue and make it to the finals. And hopefully, if they play well against Ohio State again, they can possibly get maybe a #3 seed in the final 64.
Yep.
That's why I think that's what they got to look for right now, and look at doing good at this Big Ten tournament and not getting smoked by Ohio State again.
Definitely, definitely looking for either Ohio State or Purdue to take it. I think Wisconsin has a good chance to go in the Big Ten tournament.
For sure. My buddy Pooh Bear Karras thinks that Michigan State could even roll some thunder. But hey,
maybe.
they're one of those bubble teams, and they could possibly get in. Michigan, they play well. They got young talent. They're going to be good in years to come. Illinois is going to be tough. But yeah, Ohio State, Purdue, Wisconsin, they're tough teams. They don't lose at home. Badgers got to be able to play away from the Kohl Center. They're not going to be able to get her done.
They haven't had the greatest road record.
Oh, no. Yep, that's the truth. They have to be able to win. I don't know. It's, hopefully a 4 seed if we do not so good in the tournament. I think that's the lowest the Badgers could drop right now, because they had an outstanding regular season. Nobody thought that they'd be this far. Everybody thought Minnesota would be way up there.
Every year it seems that no one really counts on the Badgers to do too much. And then, of course, Bo Ryan just does an amazing job with the players he has. You don't always expect much from, especially when we lose some of our good players in the past, but Jordan Taylor's really stepped up this year and been outstanding. Gasser and John Lure and all those guys have been
For the first time in school history, the Badgers got 2 first-team All-Big Ten Conference players, and that was John Lure and Jordan Taylor. So they've definitely had one of the most impressive seasons. And from moving on from the Badgers, we'll move on to the Big Ten Conference in general, see where what predictions are for the conference tournament coming up. What are your thoughts on that?
I would go right away, of course, with Ohio State as #1 overall in the tournament of 68 this year. It is.
Or 68, yes.
But a big thing is if they lose in the conference tournaments, early or even late, maybe they wouldn't get the first overall. They're going to be a 1 seed. Purdue, they deserve a 2 seed. They play well, even though Painter, their coach, got Big Ten Coach of the Year, which there's that amount of only 2 losses. To Purdue and Wisconsin. That's kind of like Kansas-like, basically. So that's those 2, and then Wisconsin. You know, if they have a great run in the tournament, they can push it 2 maybe. But I would say Badgers are going to probably be stuck with a 3.
Stuck with a 3.
Yep.
And, I mean, other than OSU and, or Ohio State, I should say, Purdue and Wisconsin, I mean, there's a 4-way tie right now with a bunch of other teams in the Big Ten who maybe are on the bubble. I don't know what's going to happen with Michigan State or any of those teams.
You can't count out Minnesota as much as I hate, I hate to say it. They beat North Carolina at the beginning of the year. They made the Big Ten finals last year.
Yep.
I mean, they really want to make it, to the final tournament here. So if they can somehow make some noise at the Big Ten, they're hoping to get a bid that, they are not looking to get right now.
And they always seem to do it in the Big Ten tournament. Like when they upset Indiana, and that was the year the Badgers won the tournament. Yeah, when they upset Indiana, they can play. Hoffarber's good. Trevor Mbakwe, that boy can play. Yeah. They struggled, but Tubby Smith's a great coach, and he knows how to win. So that's always a key.
All right, moving on from the Big Ten, we'll talk a little bit about the Big East Conference, which is stacked pretty much as always. What do you guys think about that?
Well, seeing as that their tournament started today, all the not as good seeds, but half, like 3 or 4 of the teams that will probably make the tournament are playing. UConn already won today. Villanova will be playing. Marquette, they're a bubble team as well. Pittsburgh got the #1 overall. They'll be probably a 1 or a 2 seed in the big tournament, depending on how well they do. My big team, I don't know about you guys, is Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
You bet. Ben Hansbrough. What do you guys think?
Notre Dame, I'm not sure what they finished in the conference. I know Pitt won. They finished second.
Yep, second.
But they've really been climbing these past. They've been really hot, and Hansborough's he's a man, and he's going to do some stuff here. I think they hope to send 11 from their conference.
Yeah, 11. Marquette, Marquette gets a nice solid win, I think they'll solidify it. Right now, I think they're like
they're kind of
a little squiggly bubble.
Yeah, they're so stacked with Marquette and all those Connecticut and Villanova and Pittsburgh and
Louisville.
Notre Dame. But like you said, Notre Dame, I think, is one of my teams that definitely was a surprise this year, especially in the Big East. But like you said, Hansborough has just been amazing, and he's been averaging almost 20 points a game or something like that.
Yeah,
so
Syracuse, they even had that little bit of a rough patch, but they've won 5 in a row, I believe it is. And it's Big East teams. All of them are rivals. All of them are going to have good games. It's going to be interesting to see what comes down in the Big East.
Yeah. Moving on to the Big 12 now. They've got quite a few good teams. What are you guys thinking with that conference?
I'm liking my buddy Alex Newman's favorite team right now. I'm liking the Texas Longhorns. They're the only team, well, not the only team. They're the only team to beat Kansas at home this year. They're going to be good. Jacobin Brown and Hamilton, they can score, they can run, they can shoot, they can play defense. But Kansas, they're going to be tough. Of course, ranked 2 right now is the Morris twins. So I don't know what you guys think, but I like Texas.
Yeah, it's just, Texas, I feel like they have more potential than any other team, and they can beat anybody. And that's been proven. It's just that they just haven't, quite gotten it together and just hit that, that little groove that they got to get into. But they can make a lot of noise, whether it's at the final tournament or even the Big 12 tournament. I think that they could definitely come for a Big 12 title. I still think that the Jayhawks will win it. That's my prediction. Yet I think Marcus Morris he's doing pretty good, and I think that they're probably going to win.
Definitely guess. Kansas is the favorite. I think another team too. You guys mentioned Texas. I think Kansas State could be a dark horse.
Yep, I got that here
especially with Pullen. He's had an amazing year. He's averaging almost 20 points a game, and Magruder, they're outstanding. So I think Kansas State can be a dark horse that could possibly win the Big 12.
It's got to be those sideburns. Don't got any of those. ACC. Wow, what a year they're having. That's basically a 2-way race that was won by NC.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got Duke being a 1 seed.
Yeah.
I got Duke winning the ACC tournament because my girl Garkovich, she loves them. I love them for the reason that they're not they're not a strong conference, I should say.
Yeah.
And they got NC to compete with. Could be a good game, if those 2 in the finals.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Duke's going to allow them to beat them again.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't dominate the conference. That was really, how they were really expected to do that this year. The injury to Irving helped a little bit. But, I think that they still definitely should be the #1 pick, and they'll probably come away with the title.
Yeah, Duke probably will be #1. I liked the way North Carolina played last time they beat them. They beat them pretty good. So I think they definitely have a chance, but Duke, I'm guessing, will come out as the #1 from the ACC.
Yeah, it'll be close between those two. They both played well both games.
Yeah.
So. Yep.
All right, now we're going to talk about some mid-major studs. Do you guys have one player maybe that you're looking at?
Well, the Belmont Bruins, I think, are probably going to be the dark horse, like the Baylor of last year that could come in here and really make some noise. They're 30-4. They probably have the most depth out of any college team in the NCAA. They have 11 players that play over 10 minutes and that average over 10 minutes a game. They were 10 seconds away from beating Duke in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. And if they don't go into the tournament with a 15th seed, which they shouldn't, they should probably make a couple of good first rounds and really could be the team to upset somebody. Yeah.
That's a good pick. I like them. What do you like, Ashley?
I was looking at Old Dominion. They had a 27-6 overall record. They just stamped their bid into the NCAA by winning the Colonial Athletic Association Championship. They haven't had any terrible losses. They lost versus Georgetown and at Mizzou. But that's, understandable. Those are great teams.
Both teams will probably will make the tournament.
Yeah, but they got revenge against the team they beat for the championship to go into the NCAA tournament. They did pretty well. It's the second year in the tournament. They did pretty well last year. Decent. They lost in the second round.
Yeah.
But I think they have a shot to be a dark horse. Yeah. Beat some teams.
Those two and with George Mason and Colonial.
Yep.
Me and my buddies were sitting around the old TV last night watching ESPN, and we came up with Utah State just because they've dominated the WAC. But they're like at Boise State of football and the TCU. They play the not good conferences, but they played some really good out-of-conference schedules. So Utah State hopefully could be a front runner. But that's all we got for the first half of our show. When we come back from Perfect Pets, we'll have baseball. So let's take a look at those adorable pets of the Cooley Region Humane Society.
This is Digger. He is a Labrador Rottweiler, a male of 1 year old. He is quiet, handsome, playful, and wiggly. He is house-trained and would do well with other pets.
This is Crimson. She is a black and white domestic short-hair female who is 1 year old. She is very sweet and friendly and needs lots of attention and petting. She has a quiet personality but would do great in almost every household.
This is Riker. He is a domestic short-hair cat who is 2 years old. He's very handsome and loves to get a lot of attention and petting. He has a cute little mouth and needs a home with a window that can curl up in front and watch the birds outside.
To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
For the Cooley Region Humane Society is 781-4014. Now let's get into the second half of the show. Let's start off with, actually we're going to be talking all baseball. We'll start off with the Brewers.
You bet.
How are they looking?
They are looking good. Under new management with Ron Reineke from the Angels. He's bringing in some new stuff, maybe a little West Coast offense, but we don't need any more offense on the Brewers team. The big thing is going to be how is Zach Greinke going to turn out for the Brewers. So far, this spring training is a little rocky. He's trying to find the strike zone. He's got already 3 walks in 3 innings. So hopefully he can get it done with Giovanni. And Sean Markham he's going to be great. He had 13-8 record in the AL East, which is always stacked with the top 3 with the Rays, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. But I don't know. What you got, Braden?
I think they're probably looking the best that they've looked in a really long time. I think they have 5 really, really solid guys for offense. Yesterday they did a really impressive performance. They got 15 runs off of 25 hits, which they were just I forgot who they played.
They played the Reds, who are supposed to be right up there with the Brewers.
Yeah. So they're looking pretty good, and I think that they're looking to be a contender this year for possibly the team to beat the Phillies or the World Series.
Yeah. There's always a lot of excitement with the Brewers heading into the season, it seems, especially this year, acquiring Greinke and Markham and bringing Fielder back, which they didn't know if he was going to sign elsewhere, what was going to be the deal with that. I'm kind of in a wait-and-see mode with the Brewers. I hope they do well. I think they will. Granke's been struggling a little bit. Obviously, he hasn't. We haven't seen too much from him. Gallardo, of course, is just amazing.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think they have a good shot, definitely.